June 2020, I turned 20. 20. And don't be fooled by this smile. I cried.
June 2020, I turned 20. 20. 20. Like, I'm no longer a teenager, I'm 20 years old. And honestly, for me, turning 20 was a lot. Like, I was like, how am I 20? I'm old now. I'm old. And it was during quarantine. It was during like the first quarantine in the UK at least. And so time had stopped. Nothing was happening. It was just nothing was happening. But I was aging, you know. I was going from a teenager to being in my 20s. And I was thinking, how did I actually get here? How did I actually become a 20-year-old? And then I started to think, no one really talks about turning 20. Like, no one talks about turning 20. It's funny because 20 is actually the age where you become, you know, you enter into your 20s, the year, the decade where, you know, you might graduate, you might move out, you might get married, you might have some children, you grow a lot, you change a lot in your 20s, you become an adult. So the fact that no one talks about turning 20, I was like, wait a minute, why did no one prepare me for this? Because I can't be the only one feeling old. I can't be the only one feeling like my life is going, you know.
Clearly, I was in my feelings. Turning 20 was making me emotional. So much so, I wrote myself a letter a few minutes before I turned 20 talking about all of this. I actually filmed myself writing this letter because I knew I wanted to make a video about it. But when I went to find said video, it wasn't there. I just found some pictures I took a few minutes before I turned 20, which were kind of weird, but also nice to look back on. So instead, here's a reenactment of me writing this letter. It fits perfectly since this video of me writing this letter was actually me writing stuff on my birthday this year. Here's what I wrote. Dear maame-deh. It's 12 a.m. Wednesday, 17th June 2020, your 20th birthday. Wow. You're not a teenager anymore. You're 20. Turning 20 was quite a big deal. I feel like I'm old, growing up too fast, but not really feeling grown. There's a comfort in being a teen, because in society, a teen is still young. You can make mistakes in a way. You're still a kid. But 20, it's like your life's exposed. There's no safety net, just aging and maturing and just life going by. But I just don't feel ready for it. Truth is, I know I'm still young. I'm very young. I still have so much life to live, so much more to learn, so much more to do. Truth is, my life is just starting, so I'm young. This birthday marks a new birth into official young adulthood, but more so into life, my own life that I will lead, where I will make decisions, where I become secure in myself, in my talents, in my sensitivity, in my looks, in my body, in my shape, in myself.
I've just come to the conclusion that how we define age as a society, you could say, it's just this weird made-up concept, honestly. Like, let me explain. You have like the big ages. You have your first birthday, your 10th birthday, your 16th birthday, maybe your 21st birthday, at your 16th, your 18th, and your 21st birthday. And then you maybe go on to like your 25th and your 30th, and so on. I don't know. After that, but and you have your big ages. Personally for me, my parents didn't have a birthday party for me every single year. I had like the big celebrations on the big ages. So like I said, 1, 10, 16, 18, 21, so on, blah, 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 blah. But you know, you become an adult when you turn 18. You are an adult. You can buy a house, you can vote, you can buy a drink at a bar, stuff like that. But you're still young. As I said, I was personally still in school when I was 18. I finished school when I was 18. I still felt young though. I didn't feel old whatsoever. I was still a teenager. I was young. And so 19 was like a kind of weird age. It's a weird one, but I quite like 19 honestly. And then, you know, you have the big age of 21 as well. 21, you what you do when you're 21. You do even bigger things when you're 21. You're an adult, obviously. But you enter into your 20s when you're 20, when you turn 20. And so that should be celebrated. That should be one of the big celebrations. But it isn't. It's not. And that was weird to me. Because, as I said, this is when you enter into your 20s, the decade that is perceived to be the year of most change, in the sense that you're not really a child, you are an adult. You graduate, perhaps, you might move out, you might buy a house, you might get married, you might even have a child. So many things can happen in your 20s. Having thought about all of this, I just decided that, we put so much pressure on age. I was putting so much pressure on my age of turning 20, when in reality, I'm so young. I've only lived 2 decades, and this is the decade where I become an adult. I become more so an individual. I maybe figure out what I want to do, figure out what I like, what I won't like. But 20 isn't the end of your life. You have so much more life to live. Literally, you have at least another 8 years to go. So, why do I feel old? Wait for the car to pass. Why do I feel old when I'm only 20? When I turn 25, when I turn 30, am I going to say I'm an elderly person? Am I just going to give up on life? No, I have so much money. I have so many more years to live. I'm still so young. And that kind of pressure we put on age is just the made-up concept, honestly. The idea that when you're 30, that's it, you're old. What? When you're 30, I feel like that's when you even start to know yourself. You start to become more confident in yourself. You've done the growing and the changing and the figuring out, hopefully, in your 20s. And in your 30s, you can enjoy more. You can be more confident. You know what you like, you know what you don't like, and you can live life for yourself. Your 20s is this awkward age. It's an age of change, of transition, of, I don't know, just a lot. And it should be talked about. So that's why I'm talking about it now. I kind of figured that no one really talks about turning 20 because no one really likes to talk about growing up. I think now because of social media, especially TikTok, I've seen so many people who are giving advice, about your 20s, about life, just in general. And that's helped me so much. But before that, and this is still relatively new, the conversation of aging in general is still, it's kind of like a taboo still. There's a stigma around it. But aging is a beautiful thing. Just with all this coronavirus thing happening, and there's a random pandemic and people are dying, and just your health and your life is so important, and you should be grateful for it. So the opportunity to live another year, to age another year, is something that we shouldn't take for granted, and should be something that's celebrated, not cried about because you're growing another year. Personally, for me, I get birthday blues every single year. I'm pretty sure from the age of 10, I'm just sad on my birthday, and I don't know why. I'm just sad on my birthday. But this birthday, as I said, I turned 21 a few days ago. I didn't feel sad at all. Honestly, my birthday felt like such a basic day. It felt so normal, but I did things that I wanted to do for a long time. I just enjoyed the day and enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't put pressure for it to be more, or I didn't feel sad that my birthday wasn't more celebrated than I might have imagined. I took the day for what it was, and I enjoyed it so much. I did things that I wasn't allowed to do for a long time. For example, I got my ears pierced. My mom didn't let me get my ears pierced. I did for the longest time, but she said when I'm 21, I'm 21 now, so I can do what I want. So I got my ears pierced, and I'm very happy about it. Let me just show you. So yeah, I think now I just have this different mentality towards aging and just growing up in general. Of course, there's that fear you feel, that uncertainty, that anxiety that, oh my gosh, I'm growing up, I don't know what to do, I don't know what I'm doing. But everybody feels that way. And I've learned that no one knows what they're doing. No one actually knows what they're doing, which is comforting, but then it's when would I know what I'm doing? When am I gonna know? I've just decided that to say to myself that time is not against me, time is for me. Time is for me, not against me. I have so much time to figure things out. I have so much time to learn. And with each age, with each year, it's just me growing. It's me figuring out what am I figuring out. And just to think about, then let the car pass. Just to think about how much I've grown from the age of 20 to 21. Like, I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I feel like I'm still a bit awkward talking to the camera. That's why I'm outside so no one can hear me. But I wouldn't have done this like a year ago, honestly. I would have like wanted to do it, but now I just don't really care. I'm just like, just do it, you know. Just do it. You want to do it, just do it. And I'm having fun with it so far. So, you know, things like that, small changes that I can see that I'm getting more confident in myself, or changes that come with age. As I said, I wanted to make a YouTube channel years ago, but I don't think I would have been ready to make a YouTube channel. But now I am, and I can do that because I've grown, I've aged.
So here's to growing up, here's to adulting, here's to leaving your teens, here's to 20.